As the snow howls outside a dimly lit library, Amelia Jackson shivers, abandoned by hope and warmth. But when a rugged cowboy named Jack discovers her despair, the night takes an unexpected turn. This act of kindness sparks a transformation, but what unfolds next will astonish even the most hardened hearts. But first, let's go back to the beginning. Amelia Jackson awoke to the dim light filtering through a frost-kissed windowpane, the kind of morning where every breath seemed to crystallize as it left her lips. The small town of Willow Creek lay shrouded in a thick blanket of snow, its cobblestone streets eerily quiet beneath the weight of winter's silence. For Amelia, each day began with a ritualistic battle against the bone-chilling cold that had seeped into the very foundation of her modest dwelling. Her cozy cottage, although reliable in its presence, offered little resistance against the biting winds that snuck through every crack in the aged wood. Yet, despite the relentless gnaw of poverty, Amelia found solace and purpose within the four walls of the local schoolhouse. It was an old structure of red brick and peeling paint, much like the town itself, enduring and steadfast. There, in the dim glow of oil lamps, her passion for teaching lit a fire that no winter chill could extinguish. Her students, bright-eyed and eager, with dreams as vivid as the colors she used to describe faraway lands in geography lessons, were her inspiration. She wanted nothing more for them than to break the chains of hardship that bound their small community, to see their potential unfold beyond the constrained horizon of Willow Creek. The townsfolk spoke of Amelia with a quiet reverence. Her resilience was a beacon of hope amid the drudgery of everyday life, and though they struggled alongside her, their support was limited to warm smiles and an occasional loaf of bread left on her doorstep. It was a communal understanding, an unspoken pact of mutual endurance and silent compassion that tied the hearts of Willow Creek's residents. On a particularly brisk morning, as the sun labored to rise above the distant hills, Amelia returned from the local store clutching her small, weekly allotment of provisions. Her heart skipped at the sight of an envelope lying askew on her doormat. The handwriting was unfamiliar, but it bore the official seal of a distant county. The brittle paper felt foreign in her hands, a harbinger of the world beyond her snowy confines. With trembling fingers stung by the cold, she tore open the letter. Inside was an offer, unexpected and splendid in its possibilities. A teaching position at a school that promised not only a stable income, but also a chance to transcend the limitations that Willow Creek imposed. Amelia's heart soared, buoyed by the prospect of a life transformed, not just for her, but for the future of the children she held so dear. Hope blossomed, vibrant and fragrant as spring's first bloom, in the depths of her soul. The opportunity was more than just a job. It was a lifeline. Her mind raced with visions of a comfortable hearth in a new home, classrooms filled with curious minds, and the joyous laughter of students resonating in a place where she was not constrained by circumstance, but liberated by potential. Amelia resolved to pursue this newfound opportunity. The decision to leave was not made lightly, for her roots intertwined deeply with the frost-hardened soil of Willow Creek. Yet the promise of a new beginning, of a chapter unwritten and brimming with possibility, was a call she could not ignore. She set about her preparations with a sense of purpose, her heart warmed by the glow of promise that no winter could ever extinguish. As Amelia Jackson boarded the rickety old train bound for what she believed would be a promising future, the rhythmic clatter of the wheels on the tracks was both a comforting balm and a reminder of her departure from the life she once knew. That life, marked by unyielding dedication to her students despite severe financial constraints, had been a solitary journey. Yet, in her heart, hope glimmered like a distant star guiding her through the vast, frigid expanse of possibility. The train rollicked through landscapes blanketed in snow, carrying Amelia across a tapestry of stark, silent plains and skeletal forests etched in icy frost. Each scene, displayed through the window, seemed a testament to the quiet ardor her life had become. A battle against the encroaching chill of despair and the unyielding march of time. Her imagination painted vibrant images of her new school, one where her teachings would inspire young minds and secure her a warm place in the world, far removed from the biting grip of poverty. But the moment she stepped off the train, a wave of confusion engulfed her. The town was smaller than she'd imagined, its inhabitants peering at her through narrowed eyes, their expressions a curious mixture of familiarity and suspicion. The address she clutched in her hand, promising sanctuary and purpose, led her through narrow streets dusted with fresh snow, each step carrying her closer to a grim realization. At the heart of the town, before a derelict building that seemed more ruin than school, the ordeal unveiled itself with cruel clarity. A few snickering onlookers watched as Amelia's heart sank with the discovery of a hastily scrawled note tacked to the door, an apology of sorts from a former student who still bore the bitterness of old grievances. The job offer, a mere figment of malice, evaporated like breath on cold air. Humiliated and adrift, Amelia wandered through the freezing streets, her resolve crumbling with each judgmental glance cast her way. Snippets of overheard conversations painted her as a fool, an outsider whose aspirations were now the town's bemusing anecdote. The sinking sun dipped below the horizon, plunging the town into shadow as her situation became more desperate. Amelia found herself on a desolate street, the biting wind cutting through her threadbare coat. The snow beneath her feet was a cold, unyielding reminder of the magnitude of her predicament. How quickly her dreams had been tarnished, reduced to derision and a frigid vigil beneath an indifferent sky. That night, she took refuge on the steps of a shuttered storefront, curling into herself for warmth, her breath mingling with unshed tears. Her heart ached with the injustice of it all, each memory of her students' innocent faces fueling the embers of resolve within her. Embers that refused to die, even as the biting cold seeped into her bones. Yet on the brink of losing faith entirely, she clung to one unyielding truth. Somewhere beneath the harsh veneer of circumstance lay a path meant for her, one that would lead her back to the light. The relentless wind whipped through the deserted streets of the small frontier town, its icy fingers piercing through Amelia Jackson's thin coat. Her once optimistic spirit was crushed under the weight of despair, leaving her vulnerable and defeated on the cold stone steps of the local library. The world around her felt unforgiving, the promise of a bright future extinguished like the street lamps flickering in the distance. Each breath crystallized in the frigid air, the only visible sign of life in her otherwise motionless form. Amelia's heart ached with the realization that her aspirations of securing a teaching position had crumbled into a cruel mockery. Lost in her thoughts, Amelia barely registered the sound of boots crunching on the snow-covered ground until a shadow loomed over her. Startled, she glanced up to find a robust figure standing before her, a cowboy, clad in worn denim and a weathered hat tilted against the chilling gusts. His eyes, a steady blue, met hers with a curious yet compassionate gaze. This was Jack Harrison, a man whose reputation for silence was matched only by his kindness. Without speaking, he extended a gloved hand towards her, the offer as unspoken as it was genuine. Amelia hesitated, the skepticism of past disappointments weighing heavily on her. But the urgency of her predicament and the sincere warmth in Jack's eyes nudged her resolve. She accepted his offer, her hand small and trembling against the solid strength of his grip. As the duo made their way through the ghostly quiet town, Jack's presence was a bastion against the encroaching despair. He guided her to his ranch, a humble yet welcoming expanse nestled against the stark winter landscape. The ranch, a bastion of simplicity, offered a haven where the cacophony of her worries seemed to dissipate into the tranquil symphony of whispered winds and lowing cattle. Days turned into weeks, and within this refuge, Amelia found solace. Jack's actions spoke volumes louder than words ever could. From the gentle way he taught her to tend to the horses, to the quiet moments they shared stacking firewood, his was a companionship that mended the fractured pieces of her soul. And then, one evening by the crackling hearth, Jack confessed his unexpected passion for literature. His yearning to explore the world within the pages mirrored Amelia's own scholarly pursuits. With every shared book, their conversation deepened, weaving a tapestry of trust and understanding. Jack's insights revealed an intellect shadowed by the rugged exterior. As Amelia settled into the rhythm of ranch life, a flicker of her old self ignited. Inspired by Jack's quiet encouragement, she began teaching the local children, her makeshift lessons giving shape to a newfound purpose. This unexpected twist of fate offered Amelia another glance at the happiness she once sought, reframed by resilience and quiet revelations nurtured on the paths of a shared journey. In the heart of the winter-swept countryside, Amelia Jackson found herself ensconced in a world that seemed to flourish despite the biting cold. The small town, with its rustic charm and gentle folk, became her sanctuary and reinvigorated her passion for teaching. Slowly but steadily, Amelia's renewed energy breathed life into the community as her humble, yet impactful free classes bridged a gap that had long hindered the town's growth. Her makeshift classroom, nestled in an old barn, became a crucible of knowledge, creativity, and warmth amidst the icy winds. Every day, children bustled through the snow, eager to attend Amelia's lessons, their eyes bright with the promise of new discoveries. Word of this transformative endeavor began to ripple through the town like the gentle thaw of a spring brook, reaching the ears of every villager. The gathering of townsfolk at her lessons had grown, welcoming not just children but adults who yearned for learning and belonging. Amelia's gentle patience and infectious enthusiasm fostered a vibrant atmosphere that eclipsed the desolation winter had once painted over their lives. She taught them mathematics through stories, painted history with such vigor that it leapt off the pages, and revealed the poetry of science with such elan that even the least inclined learner was inspired. As the community gathered in the warmth of that barn, snug against the howl of the blizzard, a profound connection was forged. Parents watched their children thrive, and the once quiet, insular community blossomed around a shared goal: growth through education. This newfound purpose knitted a closely woven tapestry of community ties, each thread nodding to the resilience Amelia personified. During a bustling town gathering under the sheafs of festive decorations and glowing lanterns, Jack Harrison, whose steadfast presence had been Amelia's quiet anchor through tumultuous seas, stepped forward. In a voice steady and deep, as unyielding as the ridges that cradled their beloved town, Jack paid tribute to Amelia's journey. His words were simple, but layered with a recognition that resonated with all present. In the depths of winter, Amelia brought us spring. His endorsement of Amelia's achievements was not only a testament to her triumph over adversity, but also a beacon of light for the townsfolk who had witnessed her transformation. Their applause filled the hall, echoing across the rafters and slipping out into the still night air. It was not just admiration they expressed that evening. It was a collective relief and celebration of one of their own who had turned misfortune into hope. Through this public declaration, Amelia was given the respect she had yearned for, a respect that painted over past humiliations with strokes of triumph and dignity. The tale of a schoolteacher, once humiliated and left adrift, turned into a narrative of empowerment and love, resounding through the valley that had come to embrace her. And, nestled in the warmth of Jack's unwavering companionship, Amelia found love and acceptance that transformed her journey, entwining their souls in a narrative of resilience over adversity. Their love story, much like the education she imparted, laid new foundations for a future built on courage and compassion.